What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jeremy Wormy, and I'm coming at you with another video. And for those of you who haven't been paying attention or don't know anything about this, Disney has been undergoing a massive battle for its board of directors. Disney has been suffering major losses, whether it's at the box office, the parks, and their stock has been plummeting for many years now. And because of that, you have groups such as the Trian Group, which is led by Nelson Peltz, trying to at least seat two individuals on the actual Disney board. You also have Blackwell's involved, trying to make sure that their whole thing's going up. They're nominating three people, but Brian is solely nominating three. You have Jay Rossello and Nelson Peltz. Now, in regards to this massive battle that's going on right now, you've had Disney outright come out and put out videos saying, hey, what they want their investors to vote, how they want their investors to vote, using Disney animated characters such as Professor Von Drake. You have outright Bob Iger himself coming out and say, hey, you guys need to come out and vote for Disney. Throw away all the other cards, vote for Disney. Well, two can play at that game, and you come over here to restore the magic, which is actually being led by the Tyrion parties and everything like that, where you have Nelson Peltz actually put out a relatively decent video here, in which he's saying, hey, our main goal here is to just make sure the stock's profitable. Is to outright say, hey, let our stock be profitable, let our stock actually flow, and let people actually make money. And hey, don't take my word for it. Take the word from the man himself. This is only like a minute-long video.
We want the very same thing that they do. Fundamentally and crudely, we want the stock to go up. It's time for the board to understand that their big board fees and management with their huge compensation owe something to us.
And I don't disagree with that. I outright don't disagree with that. I think Nelson Peltz has a very valid message here where he's saying, hey, we're just trying to help people out here. We're just trying to help make sure that this board is good. And he continues on in a very emotional way.
We want to make sure that all the shareholders, not just guys like us, but guys who got 50 shares for a gift, a kid who got 10 shares and has it on his wall as his 10th birthday gift. Those are the people we want to help. We want to make sure that this company finally performs. It's been mistreated for a very long time, and that needs to change.
And he's not saying anything wrong there. Disney has been mistreated. Disney has been mishandled, has decided to start getting more propagandistic, putting out more ideological driven content, whether it's the Marvels, whether it's Indiana Jones 5, whether it's any of their Disney Star Wars properties. They've just been pushing their ideologies left, right, and center. So much so that you even have a former CFO for actual Disney coming out and being on this. Jay Rossello, former Disney CFO, thinks something's broken in Disney's famed ability to transform stories into his hit films. And when you actually listen to what he has to say, he's not saying anything wrong, and I have some proof for you.
I think some of the most important things to focus on at the Walt Disney Company are, first and foremost, creative content. Something's broken in the creation of creative content. I think from the very start, back in the 30s, when Walt created the first feature animated film, it started the Disney flywheel. In fact, Walt invented the Disney flywheel, that you could take something that pleased people in a movie theater, make it into consumer products, ultimately put it into Disneyland as rides and attractions.
And that's something magical about what he's pointing out here is, hey, when it first worked out, Walt would make a property, make something magical, make something that people could actually connect with, engage with, think that was actually good, and then they would make it into like a ride or something. Now, those days are long since gone. They've been making a lot of movies based on rides. Only one of them really succeeded in the form of Pirates of the Caribbean. Other ones, such as, I cannot remember that, Jungle Cruise, I think it was called, that didn't go anywhere. They've been making a lot of movies based on other properties. Their creativity is just gone. They don't know how to do anything anymore, but Walt knew how to do something. And it continues on. Jay continues on in actually a very emotional standpoint. And again, I have some proof for you.
Animation is so key to the Walt Disney Company, so key to the success and the running of the flywheel, that to imagine that the Walt Disney Company has lost its iconic status in animation today is almost unbelievable. And personally, it really affects me, because this is how we created success when I was at the company.
And he's not wrong. He's legitimately not wrong here. The reason Disney became so popular in the beginning was their animations, was things like Snow White, and yes, they hit a very hard patch at one point, but they brought it back during I believe it was the 90s. They brought it back using things like The Little Mermaid, using things like Aladdin, using these properties that people have nowadays have all these strong connections to. That their animation was key. Their animation was just one of the hearts of their properties. And it's so awful right now. You come over here to Just Wish, which was supposed to be their 100-year celebration movie, and the disaster that this movie was. When you actually come look at the box office, it made no money. It lost money hand over fist, losing people week over week over week over week. So much so that when you actually look at the domestic box office numbers, it only brought in $63 million. This was a major disaster of monumental proportion for Disney. This was supposed to be their 100-year celebration movie, and they could only muster up $238 million worldwide, while only at the domestic box office, you only brought $63 million in. Disney is broken. Disney is destroyed. And when you have their former CFO coming out here and basically blasting the company saying, hey, you guys have screwed up from your creative standpoints alone, again, he's not wrong. I haven't seen a Disney movie actually do very well in years. The only one that you could argue is Guardians 3, but Guardians 3 was made basically by James Gunn, wasn't really a Disney movie. It wasn't anything connected to this. Disney has only been buying a bunch of properties, buying a bunch of IPs, and trying to make money out of that. But all they can do is spend money to make their stock look good, when in reality, they can't actually produce anything anymore. They have no creative bone in their body, and they can't do a dang thing about it. I don't know how this whole board war is going to fare out. I don't know what's going on, but the more I see this, the more I look at this, the more I'm convinced that Nelson Peltz and all these guys are the right guys to choose from. And I think Disney is definitely afraid of it. If they weren't definitely afraid, you wouldn't be having Bob Iger coming out here telling people to go vote on the white ticket. You wouldn't have Professor Von Drake coming out here telling people to vote on the white ticket and toss all the other tickets out the way. I don't know what's going to fare with this whole Disney board thing. I'm actually curious about it, but I'm excited to actually see where it all goes. But I'm going to let you guys give me your thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out, friends. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.